What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brian from American Auto coming at you today with square body Chevy stuff. Yep. So I did not record the first part of this for some unknown reason. Probably because it was just about the temperature of hell outside. And anyway, there's 10,000 videos on YouTube of how to lower the back end of a Chevrolet truck. You know, doing a spring flip. I went to Northern Tool, got me 2 of the leaf spring purchase. They come up to $32 for both of them. I got them for the 3-inch tube because that's what the rear end of a Chevrolet is. And leveled everything out, made sure it was perfect. The only thing you have to consider whenever you're doing this is that you'll have to move your rear end back 1 inch, which means on your spring purchase, where they mount in the middle, there's a hole right in the center of them. You'll want to move forward of that by 1 inch and drill it out, so that way it'll set over the locating pin. The ones from Northern Tool actually already had the holes in them. I just had to make them bigger. So that's what I did. And then put those in, welded them on. Everything went fine. Truck sets beautiful, right? And I'll post a picture of that right here. Now, I'm following the directions on how to do this. Truck's supposed to ride nice still. Rides like a box car because I didn't change the shocks, so that's what we're doing. Right, so what we did yesterday, as I said, which you can't see it from where you're at. Anyway, we lowered this, okay? Now I've got it setting up on the jack stands right, well, actually I need to lower that and let it set on the jack stands so I can get to the shocks here. Because as I said, they are completely bottomed out and making it ride like a box car, so we got to fix that. So let's get on it. Let me lower this down. Now I'm going to leave it partially on the jack and on the jack stands because I can. Now, I've already put PB Blaster on this. My God. Okay, there's that. Here we are. All right, now the bottom one has a different clamp on it, and I'll have to crawl up under there to get that. So I'll get it knocked out and then I'll show you where we're at. Here's where we're at. This is what come off, right? And it still has really good shock to it. This is what I had in backup. It's about 1 inch shorter all the way around. So I really think that's still going to bang. So let me call O'Reilly's real quick and see what they have. And there we are with the 1 inch shorter. Not sure if that's going to work or not, but we'll find out. If nothing else, I have to drive it around bumpy for a day or two till I can get some other ones. So let's throw this tire back on, go to the other side, change that side out, and we'll be done with the rear. All right, everybody, there we are right at the moment. Let me turn this fan a little bit. It is 100 degrees in here. It's hard to see from the glare, and I know you can't really tell nothing from here besides the runaway water bottle. But I've got the front of the truck lowered. Not a lot. Like I said, I didn't want to do a whole lot. I might go back and lower it a little bit more after I get it on flat ground and measure all the way around, because I want the back and the front to be the same. But the way I did it, as opposed to how everybody else says you have to do it, They say you got to pull the coil springs out and cut them. Well, guess what? I've never done that. Well, yeah, I did. I did it once on my Colorado. But on an old truck like this, no, you don't have to do that. If you have a small torch setup like I got, you can get under there and pace yourself. And so they want you to cut off 1.5 coils. Well, you figure out where your 1.5 coils is and heat it at that spot, and it will bend the top of the leaf spring. Now, not the leaf spring, but the coil spring. Now, they say that makes it super weak, and it does. It does have issues later, but my blue truck, I heated all 4 of the coil springs on it, and I've been driving it for 5 years plus. This one here, I just did it to the front, and guess what? We still have good suspension. And it's 28 and 5/8 on that side, 28 and 5/8 on this side. So, goo chew. So once I get it on level ground, then I will see where it's at, really measure the whole thing around, because I do want it even, but I didn't want to bring the front down much. We started out at 30 and a half, I think. Well, it was crazy. 29 and a half on the driver's side, 30 and a half on the passenger side. But now we're 28 and 5/8 on both sides. So I think that's going to do it. So now we just go drive it. All right, guys, so here we are. It's another day. Obviously, shirt change, wardrobe change, I guess you call it. But we don't have people behind the scenes going and putting this truck together for me while I'm in bed asleep or whatever. So I have to do it myself. Still fighting these stupid sinuses. God, it sucks. Anyway, so we got the front springs heated, dropped the front end down to 28 inches from ground to center of the fender on the wheel well. The back is at 27. So, I mean, still a little bit, but you can't really even tell. I think a lot of the difference is going to be in the tire size, because front tires are smaller. I've got to get a set of tires for the truck. On a positive note, where we're in this heat wave, I decided to check a few things, and turns out I didn't remember that there's an AC compressor on that truck. And the belt's still on it. So, it's an old R12 system. So, anyway, I went this morning and picked up the adapter kits to change it from the R12 over to the 134A. And then I picked up 2 cans of Freon and put that in there, and guess what? The truck has air conditioner. So, we have AC, we have heat. This truck just keeps getting better and better and better. It looks absolutely amazing being lowered. Let me show you a distance. I mean, outside from the hood being up, is that not just beautiful? My God, that truck just keeps looking better and better and better. Anyway, and the hood's up because I was putting AC in it. And this is the bad side. So anyway, since we lowered the truck, there's a few little problems that I've encountered along the way. That being, one, I didn't take into account the rear shocks bottoming out when I did the spring flip. So I've got all that in, nice, tight, straight. I've been driving the truck. Matter of fact, had an emergency, and I had a real family emergency, and had to drive it all the way to Johnson City untested. I think the hole in the driver's side seat is a little bit bigger now because, yeah, for those of you who know. Anyway, so at this point, now that the truck's back and all this, we've got everything else taken care of except for the rear shocks, which is why I had the factory shocks right here. I put a set on there that was an inch shorter. That was not quite enough. I need 3, 4, 5 more inches of drop. Okay, you can't move the location on the frame or on the truck frame side, so we have to lower it on the suspension side. So I go online and I'm looking at these relocation kits to where it drops it down, and my brain says, hey, I can make that. So getting out the bed rail again. So I'm cutting pieces right here at 5 1/4 inches. That gives me an inch to 1.5 on the inside. I think I'll do 1.5 on the inside. So that takes it down to 3 3/4 drop, which should give me enough for the whole suspension to work right. We'll do a 3 1/4 inch drop on the shock, and then I'll punch the hole in, and that way I'll show you as it comes together, because I've got to make it a U-shaped bracket just to hold the bottom side of the shock. There's not a whole lot of pressure on the shock. Most of the pressure is going to be on the leaf spring. The shock is just to keep it from doing that butt bounce as you're driving down the road. It helps kind of flatten it out. Also, keep in mind, this is temporary, because I want to put airbags on the back of that truck. Okay, not like I did the Challenger, but just for rideability and usability. But we're going to do this for right now because it's cheap. It's what I have here, and I'm going to put it in there and bolt it in. We'll see what happens. So hang tight. I'm going to get this cut, get some holes drilled, get it pieced together, and match the size to this shock here. Go put it in the truck, and we'll pick it up from there. I'll show you, once I get the truck backed up here and get to working on that, I'll show you how I plan on putting it all together, okay? It'll all make sense in a few minutes, okay? So hang tight. All right, guys, so we're on another day here, finishing up the rear suspension on the square body Chevy. I've got one side on and one side not. So like I told you, we cut these pieces of angle bracket, and we're forming them around the base of the shock. So now that we're doing that, I've got the one side already on, and I will show you what it looks like. Now granted, it's not painted and it's not pretty, but it's functional, and that's what's important. The goal here is you need shorter shocks or something. Well, these are brand new shocks, and they're 1 inch shorter than what I had, okay? But what we did is we made that angle bracket attach, let's see if you can see it there, inside the cup there, okay? Now the store-bought kit you buy and it bolts in. Well, I don't like bolting stuff in on suspension like that, especially if it's going to have any kind of real pressure on it. And I mean, this ain't going to have super duper pressure on it, but it's enough that I don't want it flopping loose. So we got our angle bracket. We started out smaller up there and came wider down here. We got the whole thing welded in there on both sides, and that's what we come up with. And these pieces, to go from the axle tube down the distance you need, you'll need your angle bracket to be 5 1/4 inches, and that gives you 3 inches of drop, okay? And that still gives us plenty of room for our suspension to go up and down and do what it's supposed to. Now this one's on the back side. Now we gotta go do that other one that's on the front side. You can see it hanging down there. I already took it loose. But yeah, so we're gonna get that one put in, and then we'll be done here in just a few minutes. So all right, here's the second side done. Got it welded in there, got the good drop on it, and we got all kind of travel. So we're gonna get the tires back on here, and we're gonna see how much movement we got, and hope this thing does not feel like a brick. It's all trial and error, fellas. It's all trial and error. Sometimes you do good, sometimes you don't. Some things just don't work out at all. Trust me. But sometimes things do work out. Prime example. Really awesome engine run stand right there. That's just an engine stand. Yeah. Everybody's trying to tell me that wasn't going to work. Well, guess what? It held the radiator. It held the fuel pump. And back here, it held all the gauges. And it worked really great to get that cam broke in and run that engine a few more times. The secret is, guys, don't be chicken. All you can do is try. If it works, great. If it don't, you back up and punt and start over again. Anyway, let's get the wheels on here and see how this thing rides. All right, here we go. Let's see if it bounces or hits or what. Well, we're moving, not hitting nothing. So I'd say that's a win. And she's still sitting tucked. So I think that's a very good win. So now we're going to take it down the road. Well, since we got the truck lowered, we're out here driving it and enjoying it as best we can. I hope y'all can hear over the wind. Yep. We're having a blast. But this is going to be the outro for this video, guys, on lowering the C10. I know it wasn't a whole lot to show. So anyway, But make sure you do me a favor. You comment, like, and subscribe. And tell me what you think about it. I guess. I know in the short I posted a bunch of people hated it, so whatever. But y'all can see it rides nice and smooth. My little girl's loving it. And if we get too hot, we got air conditioning in here. So anyway, guys,